You clicked on this video, which means one of two things. You like murder podcasts, or your girlfriend does. So now you're here with me for the next probably like 15 minutes while I talk about it, all right? Do you understand? Are you here with me? Okay, stick around. Hey, don't go anywhere. This is the second time I had to record this because the first time the audio got really messed up. So you better stick around because this is high effort, okay? We're going to be talking about true crime podcasts. Now, most of you know what this, if you clicked on this video, you know what this is. I don't have to explain it to you. But if you don't know what they are, I'll give you a quick breakdown on how I found it, all right? So I was folding clothes with my girlfriend. We were on the ground in our apartment and folding clothes, you know, being cutesy, listening to podcast music, whatever. And she puts on this podcast called Morbid. Now, for those of you who don't know, you might have been able to guess, that's a true crime podcast. And I think they actually do it really well. They kept me very entertained and they do it like girl talk. And it's honestly, it's a lot of fun. So I recommend giving them a listen. But that led me down a rabbit hole of a bunch of other podcasts in this genre. And oh boy, there is a lot of them. There are probably like 2,000 more than you think there are. All right, there are so many. And I watched a lot of them. And I'm going to now talk to you about it. And that's what the video is. Here we go, strap in. The other one I really like is called Explore With Us, because they do this thing where they'll start the video off with like the most insane story you've ever heard of, like the teaser for like the most insane part of the video. And it'll be like, I didn't really kill her. All cards on the table, we know you did it. Just save yourself some time.
Because you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better.
The voiceover comes in and what is up, my Ewu crew? Welcome back to another gruesome murder. And it's like, it's a lot. Transition from like people in hysteria to just an announcer voice, and he's like, what's up? Like that, like I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love the videos. But that was just like a shocking transition, I guess. I recommend them. But we're not here to talk about the really good ones because we could be here all day talking about really good ones. We're here to be talking about the ones that you might not have heard of or ones that you probably don't want to watch. We're gonna start with probably one of the worst in this genre, somewhat unanimously, is this one podcast really believes that the detectives got it wrong. We're gonna be starting off with this one podcast called Murder in Illinois. Illinois? Hold up.
Illinois.
Murder in
Illinois.
Now, this podcast is based on what I like to call delusion. Delusion. She fully believes that the detectives got it wrong and that she is absolutely right.
There was something about the look on Vaughn's face that didn't seem in keeping with the crimes of which he's been convicted.
You know what started this rabbit hole for her was the look in his eyes. Look at my eyes. I probably killed someone. You would have no idea. It is absolutely insane to think that you can. That's not in the right spot. And it's on iHeartRadio too. This is like a thing that I grew up with. I know iHeartRadio. They used to play the hits. I remember when they would play Ed Sheeran and not try to prove the detectives of Illinois wrong. I don't understand. Okay, so I'm going over the footage, and in case you think I'm being biased about my review and the rest of the internet's review, and maybe they just don't like her for whatever reason, 14 years later, he changed his story. So the guy from Murder in
Illinois.
He changed his stories. So it's literally not the same as when she reviewed his case on the podcast, which is absurd that she tried to defend him and then 14 years later, he changes his mind. Nuts. Would you believe me if I said it gets worse? I don't have TikTok, but I was using it as a research platform for this. And while I was researching, I found these.
My grandpa Stephen married my mom Katie on July 20th, 2017. Their wedding was attended by both sides of the family, including my great-grandma and my mom's foster parents.
When I found out that I was pregnant with my dad, and he looked at me as if it were obvious and not worth caring about, was forced into street prostitution, and what I received in return was my death.
Now, for those of you who couldn't glean what that was, glean, is that a real word? Glean. All right, I'm gonna stick with the Google AI on this one because that's how what I thought it meant, which means that you picked up on what I was putting down. You figured it out. You're a genius. You're a detective. You should start a podcast. Don't. For those of you who can't glean what that was, it was victims of the murders telling you how they were murdered and exploited. And from the most part, these, from what I can tell, are real stories that happen to real people. And they're being told through an AI medium, which is not what AI is for. AI is for those videos where it's like, boom, bing, bing, you know the music. And it's like, you're faded, who's cooking? And they got like pasta and shit. That's what AI is for. I should make a video about that. AI is not for pictures of these victims and turning them into slop for entertainment of someone who's watching these. These clearly get views. These clearly get some traction. Who is watching these and is like, oh, I know that case. The baby was talking to me about it. I remember. If they're fake stories, like if they're made up for this, is that worse? Maybe it's not as bad, but like that doesn't feel good either. Just profiting off of the idea of a murder story. Phone message? Shut up. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed on a platform. I feel like that someone should be like, hey, we're not gonna stand for this. This isn't happening. This isn't good. Bad. Very bad, in fact. I don't know what else to say about that. Those are really bad. Hello, it's me, Editing Ben. And I do have one more thing to say, actually. What the hell was with this video?
I was pregnant with my dad, and he looked at me as if it were obvious and not worth caring about.
What does that mean? I have been trying to decipher this for maybe like 2 minutes, and I can't believe I missed this in the main video. We're gonna assume that she's just bad at grammar, like whoever wrote this is bad at grammar. She meant to say her dad's kid or whatever, which is still, it's a messed up story. It is a messed up story. However, it would make more sense grammatically. I don't know. If this is a true story and they're not even checking the grammar of it, that's crazy. And if it's made up and it's just like jumbled words, that's also crazy. And the craziest part is, if you check out right there, it's a repost of a different channel right here. This is Detective Challenge. And this is from Whispering Sorrow, which means that these AI slop accounts are reposting each other for some reason that I do not understand. I don't know. I think that just had to be said. I can't believe I didn't bring it up in the video. But I just kind of want to do a quick, witty wrap-up conclusion of some kind. And I'm not really quick or witty, and I don't really know how to conclude. We like these. We're gonna, don't kid yourself. We all like these murder podcasts, or the true crime podcasts. I call them murder podcasts, but the true crime pod. We all enjoy listening to these. We find some kind of entertainment from it. But there are definitely wrong ways to do it, as we've seen in this video. And there are definitely right ways to do it, as we've talked about in this video. I do enjoy these podcasts. I find them very good, and I'm not trying to bash on them. I'm trying to bash on the people who are bringing the name of these podcasts, the true crime podcasts, through the mud, ruining it for the rest of us, because, you know, those podcasts like Explore With Us and Morbid, I like them. Moral of the story, don't be bad. All right, thank you for watching this far in the video, because I didn't expect it to go this long. I'm at what, like 10 minutes now? Crazy. By the way, forgot to mention, I am going to be watching every single Jack Black movie ever, because the Minecraft movie is coming out, and I think that's going to be pretty cool. So stick around if you want me to do that and you want to see that, because I want to do it. So thank you for watching the video, and goodbye now. It's over. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.